Morning guys. I have a little project which I think some of you may be interested in. It involves this. It involves this. It involves this. Now, as you are well aware, these two watches take up a lot of my wrist time at the moment. It's the Mudman and the Rangeman. Now, the reason why I love these two G-Shocks is because they're just so light, comfortable, resilient, and particularly when I'm doing some hard workouts or swimming or something. The Mudman itself appears to be completely indestructible. It's now been, I think, 10 years or something I've had this, and as you can see, it's got a lot of detritus on it, purely from being on the wrist when I've been sweating or wearing sun cream or something like this, salt water. But yeah, this G9300 or the G9300 is just fantastic. Now, this is got a lot of the similar attributes to the Mudman. It has the compass. It also has a few more different functions which I really enjoy, including sunrise, the recall, and basically I got this probably around March, I think, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, I enjoy the look of this watch so much that I am loath to give it as much abuse as this watch. This really is what you truly call a beater. I mean, I don't care what happens, how much abuse this gets. It doesn't matter because it's already, looks a bit worn. This is still brand new. It's the famous Blackout Rangeman, and it's the GW-9400, and I'm just kind of looking to keep it in pretty nice condition, which is kind of goes against a lot of my instincts related to these watches, because I like to use them for what they're designed for, but it's almost like a work of art, this thing. I thought what I might do is give it a little bit of extra life or longevity by getting another bezel and band for it. Excuse me, just having a drink of coffee there. So what did I do? I decided to buy some, of course, original and genuine alternative straps for this, and an alternative bezel. Now, anyone who knows their G-Shocks well will know that these actually come from an incredibly rare watch. The Rangeman that came with this originally had a yellow core inside here. So when I'm going to do the strip down of this and change these out, it's going to be markedly different. There's a yellow core in here instead of a black core, and you'll see what I mean when I get into that. Plus, as far as I'm aware, it was only a positive display on the original version of this watch. Now, there are a few instances of this proper watch, this actual full original watch, available on the internet to buy. I could only find maybe a couple, 2 or 3, eBay, that kind of thing. They're incredibly expensive. I think I saw like maybe $2,000 or more to buy it. And yeah, anyway, I came across these options to add to my own Rangeman. I thought, right, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to do a strip down. I've never actually done that before. Change it up, and let's see how it looks. So it might look awful. It might be a really bad decision, in which case, feel free to chime in on the comments and say, what have you just done to your beautiful Blackout? Change it back. But I like a bit of uniqueness, and I'm not a purist, so I'm happy to have a little bit of a play around and see how this looks. So, never done this before, never taken a G-Shock apart to any intents and to any degree. So, I am going to be gradually working out how to do that. Let's take the... I've watched enough stripped down videos actually of these Rangemans to know that basically you take the bands off, the straps off, and then the bezel itself isn't actually screwed on. These are just aesthetic. They don't screw it on. So once you've got the band off, my belief is that it will then just pop off the bezel and I can replace it fairly easily. Let's see. Being very careful not to strip the screw, the head of the screw there, because I don't have any spares, and that would not be good. Plus it would look awful as well. So keen for anyone in the comments to let me know before they see the final outcome, if they think this is a good idea or an awful idea. As I say, I can always change it back if need be, but it's a fun little project. And I've got to say, I love most of the G-Shocks that have like a jelly effect to them. There's just something very appealing to them. To me, aesthetically, about those styles of watches. So I think I'm gonna like this and look forward to seeing the results. Apologies for the there you go. The length of time this has taken. I'm just not going to rush it. So there's the top part of the strap off. So it'll be interesting to see if I do persevere with these updates to the Rangeman. If I now start wearing it more regularly in the more kind of gym setting or physical activity settings, because to be honest, the Mud Man could probably do with a break, because I think over the time that we've been spending at home recently, quite a lot more time at home and working out at home, I've been doing a lot of kettlebell workouts, and I think this watch is probably, honestly, I think it's probably seen about in the region of 30,000 repetitions of very heavy kettlebells, impacts, things like that. Not that I think it can't handle it, but you know, it's a trusty old dog, and I want to respect it. So let's see if I can get something that can act as a kind of good backup. So here we go. My belief is that I pop this off. Probably this side makes more sense without the big compass button. Yeah, as you can see, there's like a kind of rubberized feel to the bezel. It's slowly coming off there. Yeah, lovely. Something just fell out, which I will investigate shortly. Feels a bit tight. Trying not to force anything, because for sure there must be a risk of snapping it if you're not careful. Okay, so this fell out. Where did it come out of? I seem to recall from other videos I've watched that, yeah, must be, so it must sit in there. Okay, so yeah, it sits in there kind of as a little grommet over that triple sensor. So it sits over that part. Fine, understood. I think I can remember that. Make a little bit of space. Now, I want to talk a bit about this strap in a bit more detail. So I think it's very cool. I love that kind of double layer to it. Now, there is, and I'm just going to pull up a reference on my phone here. because it's something important to mention about this strap. This is a genuine upgrade, by the way, guys, in terms of the quality of the strap. And if you bear with me 2 seconds, the upgrade all relates to what it says. Let me get in the right idea here. PUR CF20. Now, the important point about that coding on the strap means that this, even though it doesn't say it on the strap on either side here, this is actually this has a carbon fiber element to it, a carbon fiber insert. So I was not entirely sure that was the case. I couldn't find it black and white written down anywhere until I did lots and lots of digging. And then I found that is the critical part of these straps to confirm. And what that actually stands for is polyurethane, the PU is polyurethane, with a 20% blend of carbon insert. So yeah, the CF20 is carbon fiber 20. So what that means is this has the advantages of the beautiful strap that I've got on, say, example, the Gravity Master that I have, compared to this. So this is your classic resin strap. I don't have the Blackout resin version, which you can get. That's the Japanese version I release, I believe. Thickness, I assume, is identical, but in here you've got that carbon fiber, 20% carbon fiber insert compared to that. So to the touch, I must say that this feels more comfortable. It's got just that element of kind of extra rubberization to it as well. I think it'll fit a little bit snugger on the wrist, and obviously it will have that extra strength and like longevity because of the carbon fiber insert. People talk about some G-Shocks with the resin bands eventually perishing. I can't remember ever having that issue with any of the watches I've had over the past, how long now, like 25 or more years. Anyway, this has it. And I'm super excited about that. I wouldn't have actually been doing this project if I wasn't able to upgrade my Rangeman to have that carbon fiber strap. Otherwise, it would just purely be aesthetics, and that's not as interesting to me. What I want is this thing to become my kind of go-to workout watch, and yeah, I'll be very pleased to be able to say it's got a carbon fiber strap on it now. So let's take that off as well. Beautiful. As you can see, this is the real deal. Again, has the PUR CF20 code on it. Looks great. Pretty excited about this, to be honest, guys. Now, let's get the bezel on, see if that's a fiddly process or not. Shouldn't be. So I'll get that cover back out from here. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show as well. When I mentioned at the start, the original watch, which you can see on Google, which has this strap and bezel, actually this whole core element here is yellow. So it's going to look aesthetically very different to not be yellow. It's going to be much darker. It's going to look very unique, which is something I certainly like the idea of. But yes, it'll look different. Now, so I'll drop, I'm hoping there's no difference, I'm sure there isn't. Yeah, I'll drop the sensor grommet or whatever it's called in there. I will have to put this on. Oh, here we go. Again, I think it makes sense to start with the compass sensor button on first. As I say, I like watching those teardown. I really like watching those teardown videos where you see kind of the insides of the watches that you own and see how they work. I've never done it before myself, so this is a new exciting foray. And you know, I love the idea of modding. I've got some idea of mods for myself. Oh, there you go. On. That was easy. That was easy. And it's like the Mudman beak just to celebrate that it's on. There you go. How about that? So, you know what? I'm already liking how that looks. I think I'll be terming it the... It's almost like a British racing green version, because it would be lighter if it had the yellow core, but it's actually a darker green, but still the jelly effect. And it looks a bit like British racing green to me. So how does it actually look with the strap in place? And there's the top strap positioned. Oh, this is looking great. This is looking very cool. And there's the bottom strap positioned. How about that? I like it a lot. Out of interest, I'll just show you what it looks like with the black strap in place as well. Oh wow, that's pretty cool as well, I must say. That is very unique. I think that's not a bad look at all either. And who knows, maybe in the future I want to change it up and put that on. Although remember, this isn't carbon fiber, so I would be at a slight disadvantage there. But wow, wonderful. Very exciting. One thing I've just noticed, which I was aware about actually, as I mentioned it before. Look at the difference here. The screws on the outside, 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't got spares to go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, so there's going to be a hole there. Now I've got two options. Well, I've got three options. One is to leave them empty. I don't think that will have any impact on the watch itself, its function or waterproof, you know, ability, anything like that. The other option is to take them out of this and move them across. And I don't know. Oh yeah, it looks like that's possible. Let's see if it's easy enough to take one out. I honestly don't know. The other option, of course, would just be to order some new ones, which I may do, so I don't have to do this every time. Let's see how it looks. So I unscrew here. I'm not massively bothered about those holes, to be honest. Again, it just adds a little bit more uniqueness to the watch. What's interesting is when you unscrew here, it doesn't seem to be coming out much. So I wonder if that's actually got a, if it's designed to be screwed in, screwed out, or is it more like just like popped in and it's because it's purely aesthetic, maybe it's just popped in and it stays there. So you know what, I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time right now trying to get those out and replace them. I'll have a think about that once I've got the straps on and it's clearer to me how this is going to look overall. So let's get the strap on. This is fun, I must say. Cup of coffee, making a unique, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of a kind with the different colorways. I can't imagine anyone else has put this strap onto the Blackout module. You never know, someone might have beat me to it, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's a pretty random project, so I don't think it will be existing anywhere else. So that's in there, obviously not over screwing it, being very careful to keep it in the right threshold so I don't damage these screws. I can imagine that if you give them a little bit too much torque, you could cause problems to the screws themselves, the actual heads themselves, or strip the internals of the hull. Always like to go slow and steady rather than rush something and then regret it later and not be able to undo the damage you've done. I've got a feeling that this could well, I'd never say take the mantle of the Mudman, but I think this could well be my a very, very regularly worn watch going forward, even more so than it is already, because it's unique. And what I like about that is that you know, you just got that kind of personalization factor. You know that no one else is going to have it, and that also people who like G-Shocks, of which, as you know, you see so many people out and about wearing them. Someone will just probably look at your wrist and go, "What is that? I've never seen that before." The Rangeman is a very, very famous line. It's highly popular. Most people who are into G-Shocks know the main colors and kind of models that are available. So I don't, you know, I think a lot of people will. You know what I've just done? That's hilarious. I've just screwed it on the wrong way around. Come on, guys, why didn't you tell me? I bet you were shouting at the screen, going, "You're an idiot," which would be fair. I would not concede that. I was just talking about doing things properly and not rushing. Put the actual strap on upside down. What? Of course, this heightens the number of times that the screws are coming out and in, which means that I'm increasing the likelihood of causing damage or stripping them, so that's not ideal either. It's actually excellent to know that if you look hard enough and you look in the right places, you can get hold of these replacement bands, which you know, otherwise if you bought the watch itself, you'd be looking at a lot of money. So I've always had my eye on that particular model of the Rangeman, and to some degree I would say I'm more happy that I have done this. Yes, it's saved me a lot of money as well. Let's work out the total cost of this project would be, this is rough because I don't remember the exact details, but I think I bought the Blackout for about $180, and then I bought the replacement band. Let's say everything altogether, let's say $300. So I've got a very cool looking Rangeman with all the same functionality. It's now upgraded to carbon fiber strap. It's unique. It's a colorway that I really like. It's the jelly. It's or the unique British racing green, as I'm going to call it now. But it's also saved me a lot of money compared to if I had purchased the actual official release version of this watch with this watch and bezel, because, as I say, I don't think I saw it online anywhere for under the price of about $2,000. I'm sure someone will go online now and find it cheaper and prove me wrong, but that was my research showed. You know, the other color that I think is really cool on the Rangeman is that I think it's called like fuchsia pink. It's like a very vibrant in your face color, which someone actually messaged me recently on YouTube saying that they've got, I think, the Frogman and the Rangeman in that color, and he was saying how much he loved wearing it. And I can imagine that. For me, I think it's just, I don't like, personally, I don't wear things that are too in your face. I like them to be kind of unique but still relatively subtle, which I think this is. But there's something very cool about that color. And again, I think it's got the carbon fiber strap. So, you know, what I could do is see if I can get hold of the strap and then put it on this. So you've got the green face, the purple strap. That could be interesting as well. No. Okay. Let's see how flush they are. So this one needs a little bit more tightening, and this one does. So both on this side. Just a touch. So here we have it. Obviously just make sure the light is working correctly. Yep, working great. There's obviously been no issues with the way that the buttons have integrated back into that new bezel, which is very nice. Give it a quick wipe. There's the aftermath here of, you know, destruction of the Blackout, but as you can see, it's going to be very easy to put it all back together if I want to. And then I'll put the new one on the wrist. I mean, personally speaking, that is pretty cool. On a side note, and you'll have seen me mention this in previous videos, you know, people talk about the visibility and the ease of reading the negative display on this watch, the Blackout. I honestly don't find it an issue. I mean, I have got very good eyesight. I don't know if that makes a difference, but if there's an instance where I can't quite see it, a small correction in the wrist angle and you can't see it. Maybe that's a good example there. Like, it's a little bit more difficult. A little bit more difficult to see what time it is there, but a small correction and you can see it immediately. For me, that is absolutely acceptable. Yeah, so there you go. As I mentioned, we've got the question of the 4 holes here. What should be done with those is something I'll be looking at in the future. But I am very happy with that, and it is undoubtedly more comfortable on the wrist. It's unique. I mean, what else can I say? I think it's fair to say this Rangeman, the model which was already famous, but I'm sure you guys have seen that Chris Hemsworth has been wore it on the film Extraction, although it was the green one, olive green one. The bulletproof Rangeman is just such a classy watch to me. It is a classic, like the Mudman. It's got the tough solder, it's got the compass, it's got the sunrise, sunset. It's not an expensive watch in the grand scheme of things compared to other G-Shocks or other watches with you know, a lot less capability. So yeah, there you have it, the translucent British Racing Green Rangeman with the kind of jelly element to it. I'd say the comfort factor, it's early days, and I'll report back after I've done some workouts with this and things. I'd say maybe 20 to 30% more comfortable on the wrist because of the carbon fiber strap, which has just got a little bit more kind of rubbery play to it. What I'll do now is I'll just do a little bit of filming outside so you can see it in some different lights, and I'll include that on the video. So what next? Pink strap, put the black strap back on. Keen to know your thoughts. Yeah, as always guys, if you like these kind of videos, please subscribe and like, and give me the feedback that you'd be interested to see more. Thanks very much. Cheers. Have a good day.